It's 1:30, we call the meeting to order. All members except for Cheryl are present. We're gonna start, are we gonna start with the elementary or?
No, we'll just run through communication.
Okay, we'll start with communication items. Ms. Bullard.
Yep, so we'll start by hearing from our elementary principal. Kathy, will you come on up and let us know what's happening at the elementary?
Good afternoon. Thanks for having us here. Some updates as we are nearing the middle of May and wrapping up the end of the 23-24 school year. First off, I'd like to recognize it is Teacher Appreciation Week. Included in my update is one of my favorite quotes. Behind every student success story is a staff member who championed for that student. And you're going to see that firsthand today with our demonstration later on. But I just want to say a sincere thank you to the teaching staff at Paynesville Elementary School for their dedication. And it is my joy and my pleasure to work alongside such a great group of educators. Also this week is School Nurse Recognition Day on Wednesday. And so a big thank you to Rachel Brown and Melissa McFarland for their dedication and services in our health offices, their depth of knowledge, and their dedication to serving our students in oftentimes what can seem like a crisis, that bloody nose or that fall on the playground or whatever it is. They are there welcoming students into the health office and providing the special care that students need. So thank you to both of them as well. Monday, we had our last 2-hour late start in the calendar, and our teachers attended and completed Unit 8 letters training, and you'll hear a little bit more about that. And as you know, and as I've talked about before, it is part of our Minnesota READ Act, ensuring that we are building readers across all of our students from kindergarten all the way up. And so our demonstration later on in the agenda, you'll get to see firsthand that connection of letters to how are we implementing that in the classroom. So looking forward to sharing that with you all. With that training also comes a new cohort as we bring new staff on board and have current members that need to go through that training. We'll start our second cohort to scoop up even more staff members in that training. And so we'll look at doing that for next school year. We have our 5th grade music program in Paynesville Elementary graduation coming up Tuesday, May 21st, as we look to send our 5th graders on to here at the secondary. We have orientation lined up for them. They get to come over here and have lunch and just get a good feel for what it looks like next year when they come as 6th graders. I want to also take this time to recognize Cheryl Bungham and Robin Spaeth, 2 of our Paynesville Elementary teachers who will be retiring at the end of the school year. I know we had a great celebration honoring Mrs. Bungham, and we've got a celebration slated for Mrs. Spaeth as well that all of you are welcome to join and attend and honoring her service as an educator. Looking ahead, May is filled with field trips. We've got field day, certainly developing class lists for next year, fine-tuning our master schedule, personnel changes and updates, and just really celebrating another successful school year with our students and staff. The update that I have for you.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. Okay. And with that, we're going to invite up Mr. Rasmussen. So Mr. Orline was actually, he's a representative on the State High School League, and they had a region meeting today. And so it was a good opportunity to put your feet in the fire and say welcome. So thank you for being here today, Mr. Rasmussen. And what's going on at the secondary right now?
Thank you for having me. It is amazing to think that we only have 13 days of school left with all that is planned here at the secondary. So just an incredible amount of things on the calendar here as we say goodbye to our graduating seniors and as we say hello to the 5th graders who are coming over here as 6th graders. So I'm just going to go over some things that are happening so that everybody's aware. So we have prom this Saturday. You can purchase Grand March tickets right now on our website, and there's going to be some tickets available at the door. A big thank you to Gina Pung and the prom committee for all their hard work in this. it really takes passionate individuals to make prom and after prom go well and to provide these experiences for these students. Big thank you to all of their hard work for this. We have our Dollars for Scholars breakfast at May 17th at Bugby Hive Resort. Baccalaureate is May 19th at Crystal Hills Assembly at 4 p.m. Then we have our Senior Honors Banquet May 19th here at the high school at 6 p.m. Fifth graders, we have an orientation on the schedule for fifth graders. They're going to come over to our secondary building. They do some outdoor track and field day activities, and then they get a chance to walk around the building and open their lockers and just start to feel familiar with the new building that they're moving over to. SAD, the student organization SAD, is the one who heads this up. So big thank you to SAD for organizing and planning that day for our fifth graders to come over here. We have a high school fun on the Sunday scheduled for May 15th. Then we have middle school update scheduled for May 16th. We have a couple concerts left, May 13th for a band concert, May 20th for a middle school choir concert. And another big thing that we're working on currently is we have all of the high schoolers registered for next year. We're working on currently registering the middle school students. And then a letter to fifth grade families went out yesterday about getting them registered for their sixth grade year. A lot of stuff happening here in a very short amount of time, but it's exciting.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Rasmussen?
No, welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm
All right.
glad to be aboard.
Thank you so much. Okay. Next up, we'll go to Mr. Hendrickson, activities. Rick, you want to come on up and tell us what's happening in the world of activities? As he looks out the window. Are you a little distracted right
A
now?
little bit, yeah.
Okay, all right, we'll make it short for you.
Yeah, just looked out the window like 5 minutes before lunch and it's raining sideways, and then get an email from the umpire asking if we're still starting on time today. So Kenny and I will be on that a little bit. Yeah, currently a little over halfway through our spring seasons. You know, Mother Nature is kind of just reared its ugly head at times, and we've had some things moved and canceled, but thankfully we've been able to jump on some opportunities. Like last Wednesday, we had a couple of times open up in St. Cloud, so we jumped on those, and we're able to get our Thursday games moved up. So we're actually at, like, for baseball, I'll just speak for it, we're at like 13 games. Softball, we're about 2/3 of the way through the schedule too, so we're actually kind of ahead of the game compared to a lot of schools around us. We've been pretty fortunate, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. But spring season, like Jesse said, also means it's concert time. We had our 9 through 12 choir concert last night. Fun to watch. You know, it's pretty cool to see Mrs. Bungum in her elements and her final high school concert last night, and just have some of the students stepped up there and talked about, you know, the ways that she was able to kind of reach out to them and make connections and kind of bring them in, and weren't sure if they're interested. And all of a sudden they're like, this has been a lot more than I thought it would ever be. And, you know, thinking of all the students and lives that she's impacted for almost 4 decades, it's pretty touching. So it was fun to be there last night and watch her conduct and perform, and watch her students perform too. We got a couple more concerts, like Jesse said too. So May 13th and May 20th coming up for band and choir. With all those postponements, cancellations, reschedules, it takes a lot of flexibility with our umpires, bus company, Miranda, Jen, our custodians, coaches, families, everybody to be able to check online schedules. So thankfully, I think we've kind of done a pretty good job of being able to communicate that out, you know, and we'll just keep on working and trying to get better at it. And again, I say this almost every meeting, but checking your online schedules with sections that we're in. Baseball, we're in section 3A. Track, we're in section 5A. And softball, we're in section 6A. So with different sections, they have different ways of how they do ticketing and getting information out and things like that. So just keep checking those, and we'll post things with Miranda as well. So get those updates as they're coming through, and we get a few days to kind of line up our section dates and things like that, whether we host or we're traveling. So a lot of things going on. But I'd like to thank Dom, Brenda, Michael, and the bus garage, all those drivers that they have. With all the things that we have going on, it's huge to be able to have the flexibility and the hard work that they put in. And we've even had, like, we played in BBE for baseball. They actually picked us up and drove us over. And no, that was track. They drove one of their buses over and back to BBE so we can get our track athletes over there, because otherwise we're so short staffed with bus drivers, because they're out in the fields now that farming season has begun. So a lot of the spare drivers are busy with their own farms. So appreciate what they're doing for us. You know, like this Thursday too, we've got junior high track for boys and girls. Boys and girls golf is on the road. Softball for junior high baseball, and high school baseball. We're actually piling into one bus, and we're taking an extra van. So we have over 50, it's like 55 people going to Maple Lake on Thursday. So just a lot going on. And I also want to say a thank you to Brad Scuglin, Kenny, Ron Fuchs, Chad Campbell, David Orline, and Paul Evans for their help getting our baseball tournament that we had on April 27th. And Betty and Jen for collecting tickets that day as well with their flexibility. I know Scoops was up there at 5:30 in the morning getting water off the field on that Saturday. And then people were coming in about 7:32 to just, basically all volunteering their time to get the water off the field so our baseball players could play. And took a lot of work. It was about 4.5 hours of getting water off, but appreciate everything that they're doing to be able to have our kids play. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and fire away. Otherwise,
Get the water off, do you use just hair dryers or?
just like a couple different ways. Sometimes if it's a huge puddle, we take like a scoop shovel and just dig into the ground a little bit, dig into the dirt and just kind of fill up buckets with it. If it's a little smaller puddle, we'll use like little plastic cups and just dig into it a little bit and just kind of keep filling. It takes a long time and a lot of patience. Otherwise, we had Paul Evans's drying agent that he uses for like fertilizer out in the fields and things like that, right? That worked amazing. And actually went up to Fleet Supply and got a potato fork too, and punching holes into the dirt allows the water to seep in and helps it disappear when it's underneath the surface rather than sitting on top.
Very
So
labor intensive.
it is, yeah. It takes a lot of time and patience, but like I said, it's all worth it to be able to have our kids play. So
Awesome.
okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Chris, come on up and let us know what's happening in community ed.
Right. Good afternoon. Summer's our busy time. So we have our catalog came out on April 23rd. I was very happy that it came out on April 23rd. So we had quite a, people did registered right away as soon as it came out. Popular programs are swimming lessons. They're full. Rec sports. A new program that we brought to the community. Great Theater is coming to town and they're doing a play week. It's going to be Alice in Wonderland. And I am happy to say we have like 17 kids signed up so the play is going to go on. We can take up to 24. So I'm happy with that turnout. It was a new program and camp isn't always very cheap. So it was one that they had to make a good commitment on. And then our rec sports, that is always popular. So we are filling up teams and getting ready to start practices and enter into leagues for competition. Our summer pause program is 108 contracts for the summer, and there are a few more sitting on waiting for me to approve. We are trying to finalizing staff and filling the positions. And hopefully we will finalize schedules and have a good idea of who's working when starting next week. We'll have a different format than in the past. It will be definitely a camp style format. We've hired the kids will rotate. There'll be a morning rotation and a afternoon rotation, and they will rotate to some of the rotations will include some very organized and planned events that will be maybe around arts and crafts, enrichment, science, and then large motor activities that will be planned and implemented. Program runs the 3rd through the 16th, so we start, very quickly once it's out. Our preschool, we finished our registrations. We have 60 students in our 4-year-old program and 28 in our 3-year-old program. We have a wait list at this point for our 3-year-old program, and we'll see as it grows, see what we'll need to do to accommodate that. Our 4-year-old classes still have room for growth. We're trying to stay at 15 to 18 kids per class. So right now we have 4 sections. They're all sitting at around 15 students. So we have some room for anyone who moves in or comes in later on throughout the summer. We had some hiring and we are ready for next year. We filled our early childhood special ed position. Did we? Okay. And our preschool full-time position. We still have our half-time position open at this point. PAC, new equipment was delivered and it is put in the room, and patrons love it and we're happy to have it. This summer, we're trying to identify some areas that we can do some improvements on, whether that's painting, cleaning, reorganizing, throwing things away. So it will be those are some things that we're looking at for the PAC, and probably some other areas of community ed, but specifically the PAC. We are reviewing our current policies and procedures for the PAC, seeing if we can, if there are any policies or procedures that are outdated or maybe need some changes so that we can continue to grow membership. And then, of course, it's summer and people want to use that space. So we're busy scheduling all the camp activities and tournaments, things that will happen in the summer. Some things that we're working on that are in the horizon. We're still working with Janelle on the tech levy, helping with we're trying to get a video. So that's something that we'll be more focused on here in the next few days. And then our early childhood playground. A grant has been submitted to the Community Foundation, and we're just kind of waiting to hear from that. And in the meantime, I'll bring the group back together and discuss some other kind of fundraising opportunities that we might want to be involved with. And then finally, there's always the end of the year reports. So just keeping up with those and making sure we hit those deadlines. Yeah. That's what I've got. Any questions?
All right. Thank you, Chris. Yep. All right. And now we'll have Ken come up and give us the rundown of which field you're working on now and where you're going next.
Running from field to field.
Yep.
So I wanted to give a shout out to Rick. He doesn't take enough credit for getting these fields ready either. He's out there, hands on deck. He's ready to go get these kids' games in. So shout out to you, Rick. Yeah, it's been hectic. All the rain, water, we've been working on fields, getting things ready. That part for the heat exchanger finally got to the mechanical system. We got to figure out a time to get that installed. I'd like to try to fire that up here yet this year.
Yeah.
Make sure we're ready for the fall of the year, if we can. Been working with XL with lighting, getting some LED lighting. This room's been done, but throughout this school, the rebates are really good this year. So 6 months payback is what they're telling me right now. So we'd like to get a bunch of that done. Just working on projects that sewer lines that are plugged for the summer, getting schedules made out, try to prioritize this so we get the right stuff done at the right time so we know it's completed, because some projects can turn into bigger projects once you get into them and so on and so forth. So that's basically what I got. Questions?
Questions for Ken?
Otherwise, I think me and Rick are
You
gonna.
guys. Exactly. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
All right. Move on. All right. Well, this is one of my favorite meetings. And if people are watching, you would never know. Sitting behind me is a whole row of students. 2 rows of students. You guys are doing amazing. So, Mrs. Akerson, would you tell us what we are in for today?
Yeah, I have a slide. There we go.
Okay.
So really, I'm just going to set the stage and share with you the guests that I brought with today. Mrs. Rasmussen, she's one of our MTSS teachers, and you've heard from her previously. when we talk about reading and math and data and how we really have an MTSS, multi-tiered systems of supports for our students to meet the academic and social emotional behavioral needs of students. And so I've asked her to join me today, in addition to Mrs. Castellut and her kindergarten class. I was popping around to different classrooms a week or so ago and thinking about what it was I wanted to share with all of you. And when I popped into Mrs. Castellut's room, she was doing one of her daily routines with her students. And I thought, what a perfect opportunity to have a field trip over to the school board meeting for them to share with you what it is they do every day and how that's connected to the letters training that our staff did for the last 2.5, 3 years. And so I'm going to invite them up. Mrs. Castellut, if you want to bring your class up, and then they're going to sit right in the middle as if they're in their classroom. And Mrs. Rasmussen can also join me here. Can I start with their song? Yeah, you want to get them up here? Or do you want to sing back there?
We're gonna stand up and sing real quick because it goes with their sitting arrangement.
Oh, yeah.
We sing this for music every day. Right.
Great. Come on, ladies. Right, come on this side. Right here. Hey, thanks for walking. And our carpet is right here. You're gonna sit on that side, Everly. I'm back this way. Yes, my back out. There you go. You're not so close. I pretend our carpet is right here. Yeah. Kindergartners, before you start, we're gonna have Mrs. Rasmussen share a couple things. Okay, so find your spot, sitting on your pockets. Mrs. Rasmussen, follow you.
This is my happy place. So I'm just going to pretend like no other adults are here and we're just talking to the kindergartners right now. Okay, so if we want to click on to the next slide. So my name is Maria Rasmussen and I have been teaching and training our staff with Marie Grothy for the past 3 years on our letters training. And essentially what that is how do our brains learn how to read? That is not a natural process. We know that learning to speak is, but learning to read is not. And so really what is the science behind learning how to read? And so I'm sure everyone will want to take a look, but these are our 2 years of letters training manuals. If anyone is interested in what it looks like, these are the teacher's manuals. You're welcome to take a look. So I thought it would be fun to start out for the adults with an activity, just like we might do with some of our students. So if you all would like to just look up here at our 5 words and take a moment to try to sound those out in your head. And then I'm going to ask in a moment, I'm going to ask if anyone would be willing to try one of those and sound them out for our class. All right, how about number 1? Does anyone feel brave enough to try number 1?
Somebody better raise their hand.
Monzo Granite.
I get in
There you
trouble when I
go.
raise my hands.
Good job. How about number 2?
Ethylene cyanide.
Good. Number 3.
We get somebody who wants to try.
You want to try number 3?
She can do it.
How about what are the sounds for each of these? Ready? What does that say? Very good. So as you are getting older, you're going to learn that sometimes when letters are together, they make other sounds too. Okay.
Good
So in
job.
kindergarten, yes, good job. We really work on letters and the sounds that go directly with those letters. And then we build on that as we go. So adults, could you, with the knowledge you have, what does that say? Yeah. How about number 4?
It's a good pectoid.
Yes. And number 5?
Carol, you doing good?
All right, you're the rock star of this group.
Cataclysite.
Awesome. Awesome. Good job. That's great. Okay, so in order to sound out those words, your brains all had to do something that is automatic. Because when you're our age, that's something that we learned many, many, many years ago. And it's automatic for us now. But for the littles, it's not automatic. And so we have to teach them how to do it correctly so that it becomes automatic for them. So first of all, we have to know that the letters all have sounds connected with them, right? And then we learned that sometimes when letters are put together, like the and the PH together says, good, Jackson, and the C and the H together says, what is that called when C and H are together? It blends together, but what is that called? A digraph. Yes, when you have two letters, they go together and they say something new, that's a digraph. Okay, so then as you get older, you learn that sometimes we have letters that don't say anything at all when they are by other letters, or when they are together in a certain way that they say something completely different, right? So as we go through school, you can go ahead to the next one. As we go through school, have gone through this letters training, we've learned that phonological awareness or phonemic awareness is the best way to give our kids a super strong foundation. And basic phone means sound, and phonemic awareness is being able to understand and hear all of those sounds. And then the logical part of it is to be able to manipulate and play with those sounds. So first we hear the sounds and then we're able to manipulate it. So once we get really, really, really good at that, then it bumps up and we add letters to it, and that's the phonics. Once we are working on that and we're incorporating spelling, we go on to reading fluency so that we're able to read quickly with a good beat, a good cadence. And then when we get very good at reading fluency, for the rest of our lives, we work on comprehension and vocabulary. And that's something that the better we can get, the stronger we can get at these three things, the younger we are, the easier everything else is, right? I tell my kids that it's like the doors just open wide for you. Once you have those solid, the doors open wide. It's easier to sound things out. You don't want to be in high school and not know how to sound words out, right? You want to be able to just do that and let your brain focus on comprehension and vocabulary, and not if you're able to sound things out or if you're able to read quickly. So what our kindergartners get to show you today is we have Heggerty, we call it. Heggerty is our phonemic awareness curriculum, and we purchased that when we were learning at the beginning of letters about how important this is that all of our students have this. And so we do this. I have done this with my 7th graders. I did it with my 8th graders last year. This is something that we start really little and they get really, really good at it, and then they don't even need it anymore as they get older. But they are going to give you a version of what that looks like at a kindergarten level.
All right, kindergartners, it's our turn. Thanks for being a good listener. Now, do crisscross your legs. Hands in your lap. Eyes up here. Ready? Ooh, ooh, ah, shh, shh, e, good. Ooh, ah. You can start before I even finish. Okay, listen all the way. Go. Ow. Good. Grab. Our vowels are A, E, I, U. A says E says I, O, U. Okay, remember the letter is the name. Okay, the sound is what sound it makes. What letter is in Jim? I. What vowel do you hear in rhyme? I. Think about it. What vowel do you hear in tap? A. How about in tape? A. How about in wed? E. I like how you told me the letter. How about in seed? Good. Okay. Now you're gonna help me break the word apart. Nest. Stop. Braid. I like how you heard the twin. Stop. Nice job hearing all those sounds. Sweet. Nice job. Say need. Add. You added it. Say slow. Add. Slow. Very good. Say free. Add. Breathe. Say play. Add. Plate. Say roll. Add. Road. Okay, so now you added a sound. Can you take one out? Okay, show me. Say trace. Take out. Fabulous. Say went. Take out. Say slide. Take out. Why? I like how you have all bodies in your eyes up here. Say lamp. Take out. Lamb. Say grove. Take out. Grow. Okay, so we talked this morning how before for a while we were changing the first sound. Where's the first sound on your arm? Okay, then we changed the ending sound, and now we're working on changing the okay. You really got to think about this middle sound. Are you ready? Say seat. Change E to F. Let's think of this. F. Nice job. Ready? Then pine. Say pine. Change I to it. Yeah, Brooks, you got it. You ready? Listen. Think about it. Say feed. Change E to F. You're getting better. Say pad. Change app to A. You got it, Carly. Okay. Are you ready to show them how good you are at your letters?
Yes.
Remember, you're going to tell me the name and then the
Sound.
okay.
G.
Does D say D or D? Really quick. Nice job. When you say is your mouth open or closed? Your mouth is closed. There you go. Nice and quick. I like how you're quick about it. Nice job. I like how your mouth is open when you say Does P say pup or p? Just a couple there, you got it. You remembered H just as a pup. Nice job. One last part of Haggerty. Say lift. Let's break it apart, or let's sound it out. Let's spell it.
T.
L-I-F-T.
L-I-F-T.
Okay, ready? I can tell Loretta's ready. Her legs are crossed, her hands are ready. Okay. Say nest.
Nest.
Ready?
Nest.
Okay, spell it.
N-E-S-T.
N-E-S-T.
N-E-S. Nest.
Okay, last one. Say twin. Let's sound it out. Let's spell it.
T-W-W.
Nice job. T-W-I-N.
Twin.
Very good. That's our lesson.
I learned something. Miams and Miami.
So that is the connection with the letters training that we've done the last 3 years and applying it. And this is just a snapshot of what that looks like in kindergarten and what that can look like all the way up. Thank you so much for allowing us to come today and taking a good chunk of your time here. We are going to dismiss ourselves and be on our way back, but hopefully you enjoyed seeing in live action versus I thought about recording it, but I thought let's come in person and enjoy
This is
it.
better.
Perfect. This is perfect. Thank you so much. And this is the greatness that's happening across the district. So.
Awesome. Thanks for coming, guys. Awesome, Jean. Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful work. All right. Let's see, how do I get out of here? Okay. Would you like me to move on?
Yes.
Okay. And then, I'm also excited to share with you, invite up Mr. Rasmussen and, Jenica Schultz to share kind of what's been happening at the secondary. We've got another exciting opportunity here.
So we had Ms. Schultz take up the mantle of the middle school play advisor, and they just finished performing their performance here a couple of weeks ago. And so I just want to give them an opportunity to come up and share their experiences and talk about directing a play.
Thank you. I brought a few students with me as well.
Okay.
So yes, I took up the job of middle school play director with no experience whatsoever. Mainly because my daughter Jasmine and her friends wanted to put this on. So I became the adult supervisor and then handed it over to them as student directors. Jasmine's plan is to go on to college to become a theater director. And so I thought this was a great experience for her along with their friends. So I'm going to just hand it over to them. And I did have the students fill out just a few questions so they were prepared with something to say about their experience. And all right, so. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so myself, Aubrey, and Taylor, who is not able to be here today, we were all in our middle school play productions when we were able to, and really enjoyed that experience, and it really prepared us for high school theater. So we picked Anne of Green Gables because we thought it was something that people might recognize a little bit more. Especially with like Anne with an E is on Netflix. So we thought the students might recognize that, and then just the community members with the books. So that's why we picked that, where we went from the beginning. And then starting the process is our first time like having people audition and just getting a good experience for everyone. And then we were teaching kind of like how to do blocking, which is like how people move around on stage, learning lines, just kind of like the stage, like language, like upstage, downstage, stage right, stage left, learning costumes, set, just kind of learning everything to do with the production, starting in middle school. So and then, yeah, they can kind of talk a little bit about their experiences.
Because
So they're gonna introduce themselves, what grade they're in, what part they played, and kind of just their experience, any previous experience that they've had with plays, and then kind of what was exciting, what was challenging. So. Who wants to start? Okay, go ahead, Silas.
Hello, my name is Silas. I'm in sixth grade. When I was in the play, I played as Matthew Cuthbert, which it was a fun role to play. A lot of lines. And I joined the play because it sounded fun, and I've never done a major play before this one.
And what experience have you had prior to this play?
I performed in front of my church once.
So again, a big step up from just the little bit of performance that he had done in the past. What was something that you found exciting?
Learning to memorize thousands of words. And learn like where to go, where to be, what to wear. Because you could wear blue jeans on accident instead of brown jeans.
Anything else you want to add?
And no.
All right, Lydia.
My name is Lydia and I am in sixth grade. I was Anne Shirley. I really liked it. It was fun and exciting. I've been in 2 plays before this in elementary school. And I think the hardest part was memorizing all the lines and all the blocking. And the most exciting part was when I learned that I was Anne, because it's my first like major role.
I'm Dakota Good and I'm in 7th grade. And I was Marilla Cuthbert in the play. I've been in one other elementary school play. I wanted to try out for the play because I thought it was going to be like a fun experience, and I wanted to try like more theater. For me, the experience was a little stressful because I had to like reorganize my schedule with sports and stuff and get enough of practice. But I think it was worth it because it was a lot of fun. Most challenging part was probably memorizing my lines, and like during the play, if someone messed up their part, like improvising was really challenging. And the most exciting part for me was like costumes. I really like dressing up. That's all. My name is Aubrey Goodell. I'm in 8th grade. I played Rachel Lind. I have been in theater since I was in 2nd grade. This has probably been my 7th production. Yeah, okay, 7th production. I wanted to go out for the play because I wanted to get more experience in it and just having fun with Eva and other people in it. And my experience in it changed my perspective of working with like younger kids, like 6th graders, because I was used to being the youngest and it was different, a different working environment. The most challenging part was working through my anxiety with it because I love theater, but it gives me a lot of anxiety to do it. Most exciting part was watching everything come together. Yeah.
My name is Eva Sturt and I'm in 8th grade. I played Mrs. Rogerson, Miss Barry, and Miss Allen. I've been doing theater since 2nd grade as well. And I just tried out for it because I enjoy doing theater. I think the most challenging part for me was getting into character. And then my favorite part was just performing it. And that's it.
As you can see, they all put a lot of work into everything. When we found the production, we were like, okay, how many people do we need? I think this one needed 20 something. We came into auditions with 15. it was 15 of them there. And first they just kept coming in. We were just so happy that people actually showed up because we had no idea who was going to be coming. And then we were able to split up the roles. Eva's playing 3. She initially played 4 parts. And then we did some more recruiting. We had some of them come out and please join the play to their friends, asking them to join. And we eventually got 17. So a lot of them played multiple different parts. Yeah, lots of lines. And you probably had like 300 something lines, lots of talking, lots of new words. Yeah, and getting into character too. It was fun kind of teaching them, but also them figuring out themselves how to be that character. Because it's not yourself up on the stage. That's also what I like, is you're playing somebody else new. So even if you are a little bit nervous, it's not you up on the stage. You're playing someone new and different. You can be as extravagant as you want. And then costumes, even the guys too, I know they were pretending they didn't want to go play dress up, but they all had fun going through the costume room and finding their outfits. Yeah, and then just seeing it all come together, they're just so amazing, and they put in so much effort every single day. And they were all so kind to each other too. If someone wasn't eating, we had some pizza parties. If someone was sitting alone at the table, come sit by us, eat with us. If people needed help memorizing lines, they'd go backstage and they'd help each other. They'd help each other with their cues on when to get on stage. And I think we just really wanted, because without the middle school play, there's a lot of skills that you need to do, like competitive for one act, or the musicals is you need to memorize, but also be singing and dancing. And we didn't want to have, which is great that we now have that community, the great theater thing. I'm happy that there's that, but otherwise there really wasn't anything. And we didn't want them to just go from nothing. Maybe there wouldn't even been anyone who's joining high school theater. So I'm happy that everyone who came did, and I hope that it continues to happen because they all did amazing, and I'm very proud of all of them.
Do you have any questions for any of us?
Awesome.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you for coming and sharing.
You stuff like grab it and get
Okay, so we're gonna move on to requests for information and roundtable. This time, any board members have anything that they would like to bring up?
West Central Ed District, they have graduation coming up on May 20th. Not the
It's in Melrose.
Melrose, yes.
Yep.
And we do have one Paynesville student that is graduating from the ALC up there, so.
What else? I believe that brings this session to a close.